Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Okay. Me and Dylan were just talking about I don't know, junior high school age guy that asked me to buy him a beer, and I told him I can't do that, and he called me a faggot. I said, "Yes, America is no longer pussy anymore. I
Oh
like
God.
it. I like it. I like it." Um,
Intro time.
Intro time. Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Joining with Dylan, we got a little bit of news we want to start with. We're going to get into the state of the tank. We're going to get into some possible trades. But Dylan reported something interesting on his Instagram. Was it Instagram or Twitter? It was Instagram, I think.
For the draft
Um,
Instagram, yeah.
yeah. So, Dylan, take a minute and tell us the possible rule changes and adjustments that may be made to the NBA draft and when we can expect this.
Yeah, so I've been mentioning this the last couple of episodes just because of the fact of how miserable our tanking has been. But the league is finally taking notice of teams rigging their positions in the lottery, specifically with protected picks. Shams Charania posted today that the NBA is investigating and looking to fix the lottery. So the three things that were highly noted was limiting pick protections to either top 4 or 14 and higher, which would eliminate the problematic mid-lottery protections. And then you also have no longer allowing a team to draft in the top 4 2 years in a row, and then also locking lottery positions after March 1st. So prior to the end of the NBA season is when lottery odds would be locked. This way, teams don't sit players the last couple of games of the season to ensure more losses and ensure a better lottery odds. So, interesting way that they're looking into it. The proposal that I had put out there for this was no team should be able to draft the first 3 overall picks in back-to-back years, but the top 4 picks should be its own lottery. So, say that you do land the number 1 pick one year, you are automatically going to be number 4 if you're in the bottom 4 of the league next year, right? So still ensuring a top 4 pick, but no more than fourth. And then I had it separated from 5 through 14 in its own lottery. So say a team is at 5 2 years in a row, you can't draft 5 the third year, things like that. So not exactly what I was hoping for, but it is a step in the right direction. Uh, it's funny how this kind of comes about now that OKC is in the mix for a top 4 pick, and after 3 consecutive years of San Antonio being in the top 4. So pretty coincidental that it starts to come up now, but nonetheless, good that it's finally being brought up. I definitely think that there needs to be a fix in the lottery. You're seeing teams like Washington, who has an incredible young core, still at the bottom of the barrel. You see teams like OKC, who have just stacked on draft capital, still contending and still in a position to potentially have 2 lottery picks, depending on if Utah is a top 8 protected pick this year. You have teams like Utah who have added protections on protections on protections, and towards the end of the season start to bottom out to ensure those protections. So it'll be interesting to see how the league maneuvers around this. I don't expect this to be fixed this year, but maybe something for
No,
next year or the year following potentially.
which really does us no good because we don't have our pick next year. So unless the Rockets fall apart quickly, it isn't going to affect us personally. But I do think it's a step in the right direction. Something needs to be done. I think the other alternative that the NBA could explore, and this might be crazy, is to stop rigging their draft. Like they could do that. They could
Yeah.
stop rigging their draft.
Well, the key notes that were in this article was they mentioned so they're investigating certain teams. So the Dallas Mavericks in 2023, after they acquired Kyrie, were in the mix for a play-in spot. I believe they were the 7th or the 8th seed. They ended up sitting Kyrie out a few games, specifically the
Yep.
last 2 games of the season to ensure losses. They sat Luka out the last game of the season when they were
Yep.
battling for a play-in spot, and they also played Luka 2 games before the end of the season, just 12 minutes. And both of those games ended up losses. Both of those games ended up pushing them up in the draft lottery, and both of those ensured their protection for their pick. So that's a team that got investigated and is being investigated. The Utah Jazz are being investigated because they've had protected picks over the past 2 seasons in which they have gotten those back, and now they're going to be looked into for this year as well. Kind of the reason why I think Utah's winning games this year, so this way they don't look like they're purposely doing it. And then there was the 76ers who got mentioned as well this past season, who had a top 6 protected pick and decided to sit numerous guys out for the remainder of the season. So Joel
Everybody, and
Embiid,
they told
yeah,
Paul George to give zero effort. They says, "Hey,
yeah,
Paul George, you're going to play some of the games, but when you do, make sure you give zero effort across the
yeah.
board."
Yeah, so I mean, those were the
negative.
3 teams that were mentioned. I do think that there are a couple other teams, cough, cough, the San Antonio Spurs, who have just gotten handoff after handoff from this league for the past 3 seasons. But again, it's going to be interesting to see when this rule comes into effect. I doubt they're going to be able to do it this year because March 1st is creeping up. It's going to have to go through all the league executives. It's going to have to get approved. It's going to have to be sorted out by detail in a like whatever it may be in writing.
I wanted
So I
to
doubt that
ask
it
you
gets done
about
this year.
that.
Yeah.
How much of a ruler can the commissioner be here? Can he just implement it, or I mean, would this need
I
approval?
think he can
And
just
if it needs
implement it.
approval,
Yeah, I think he
yeah,
can just implement it, but I also do think it has to be something that's voted on upon all 30 executives.
then it'll never
Think about it
pass because,
as,
like, look how many tanking teams. You know what I'm saying? Look how
yeah,
many tanking teams there are. They're not going
yeah,
to vote for it. It seems like something like you would have to ram through. Like, because if you vote on it, it'd be like asking welfare recipients, "Do you want us to cut welfare?" No, no, we do
yeah,
not. Right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I believe all 30 league executives are going to have to vote on this. And I believe it has to be a majority favor in the leaning direction of wanting to get this changed, but I
yeah.
do believe Silver has some form of veto power to where he can just implement it. So it really just depends on how the voting process goes. But from my knowledge, any form of league rule change, all 30 executives have to be in on it and vote towards it.
It's becoming an issue. The tanking, not just from the Nets, but it's not really from the Nets. We'll get into that shortly. But throughout the league, it's a major issue. I've heard rumors that they're considering moving New Orleans and Washington to different cities, namely Vegas and Seattle.
Yeah.
There's something that needs to be done here, right? Like, there's not 1 or 2 teams at the bottom. There's like 8 teams, a quarter,
Yeah.
or which is to say, a quarter of the league,
or at least 8 games below 500.
Yeah, actively trying to not win basketball games.
Yeah,
that's a problem. Tayron Prince, when he was on Atlanta, said that he hit a game-winning shot once when the Hawks were really bad, when he was on the Hawks. And the players were all celebrating, and the staff and we're looking at him like, we drew the play up to you so you'd miss it, right? Like, they're actively trying to lose.
Yeah.
And that's not 1 or 2 teams now. It's a large portion of the teams at the bottom. It's really become a haves and a have-not league. And look, the Nets gave away their roster in attempts to be bad. They had 5 draft picks. You assume that they would be bad. I don't think the Nets are that guilty in this. I really don't. There are other teams which it's a much worse look. But clearly there's an issue here. Like, I mean, it's the most obvious thing in the world.
No, it 100% is. I mean, you have teams left and right blatantly losing games down the stretch this season. Like, the Wizards have had so many leads and they've blown them. Indiana has had so many leads and they've blown them. Last night, I believe Indiana was up by 20 on Boston and ended up losing by 5. The Clippers, they just suck right now. Sacramento purposely losing games down the stretch, not giving Zach LaVine the ball. You've seen Utah stay in that top 8 range, even though they've won numerous games time and time again, but they've also now are on a 3-game losing streak. Milwaukee with Giannis out, they're losing games. So it's just, there's a couple of teams in here that you can tell are purposely losing games. So it'll be interesting to see how the league rewards that this season. But again, if you're the league and you're bitching about Philly last season and you're complaining about teams getting consecutive top 4 picks like San Antonio, or you're complaining about protected picks being blatantly tanked for so they can keep them like Utah and Dallas, why reward them? Why did Dallas get the number 1 pick last season? Why did Philly get
because it was an arrangement with the NBA? We all know why they got.
But that's what I'm saying, though, right? So
yeah.
now all of a sudden you want to change these rules when teams like Washington are at the bottom, where teams like Sacramento are at the bottom, where teams like Brooklyn are looking for a top pick. But you had no problem giving San Antonio 3 years in a row of top 4 picks. You had no problem giving Dallas Cooper Flag and their protected pick back. For a business that is blatantly rigged in these lotteries, it sure is coincidental that you're now trying to change these rules after all of these teams got top picks. So it is very strange that you want to do this now.
Change it now after you got what you wanted, and it's a really bad look. Everyone is talking about it now. It's no longer a secret, right? It's like an open secret. These teams are tanking. What Philly did last year was an abomination. That was ridiculous, and the NBA rewarded them. I mean, they got maybe the best rookie in the class. That guy is incredible.
I mean, realistically, what
Okay.
I think needs to be done to properly ensure this is the league needs to hire a third-party, non-bias training staff that will monitor teams at the bottom of the barrel to ensure that players are playing when they're not injured. Like Larry Markkinen shouldn't have been sat the last 2 seasons. He wasn't hurt. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving should not have sat those last couple of games of the season a few years prior. Um, there's so many examples as to how these things could be prevented, but they aren't. I think
In
Dallas was a half game behind the play-in spot 2 games before the end of the season last year when they decided to sit Luka and Kyrie. So
yeah,
there are things that need to be implemented with these rules on top of being able to monitor bottom tier teams. Like Washington needs to be investigated. That team is not that bad, right? You have Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, Corey Kispert, Alex Sarr, C.J. McCollum, Chris Middleton. There's no reason that team has 4 wins. So there needs to be a little bit more added to those first 3 bullet points that have been listed, and they need to expand upon it.
in boxing, I'm not trying to use boxing as a shining example. Where is it? Jamel Charlo had a mandatory, and the WBC said, you have X amount of months to make the mandatory. If you don't, you vacate your belt. He took the fight and then reported a hand injury, and he had a doctor's note saying he broke his hand. They said, okay, and they flew him into New York, and they had their doctor examine him. Now, it was legitimate. It was a legitimate injury, but they were going to take his word for it, right? They were going to examine and make sure that you weren't ducking this fight. And the NBA could do something like that with these injuries. Okay, if this guy is injured, fly him in, we'll take a look at him. And if we deem he's injured, it's no big deal. But they don't want to do that because they know what we all know what's going on here, right? Like,
oh yeah,
hire a third party, but we all know what the result of that investigation is going to be. We all know what it is. It's like when people say, well, we can hire a third party looking to voter fraud. We already know there was voter fraud, right? Like, you already know this, right? Hire anyone you want. And we all know what this is going to result in. And I don't think the NBA wants that. I really don't. Like, because it's going to be bad. It's like when the feds were investigating Major League Baseball. That's when they came into the basketball gambling. From what I'm hearing, what they have on Major League Baseball is going to put everything else to shame. Like, what they have on baseball is so deep and so ugly that, they're waiting on it. It's like going after the mafia. You better get all your ducks in a row first because you don't want to blow this.
Yeah.
That's what this is like. I don't think the NBA wants to really investigate. I want to make a couple rule changes, try to get people to stop tanking without having to really dig into this because it's going to get ugly. Like, it's going to be bad. And the NBA ratings aren't doing great. Having a third of the league tanking while your ratings aren't doing great is not good. You basically told a third of your fan bases, we don't really care about you. It's not good.
Pretty much.
All right. Speaking of the tank, well, are the Nets still tanking? Are they going to try to push? I know it sounds ridiculous because they have the worst roster in basketball. I still stand on that. Are the Nets going to attempt to make the play-in now?
I don't think so. I still think that they're going to try and stay within that bottom 10 area, so this way they have a chance of moving up in the draft. But I don't see them moving on from Michael Porter Jr. as of right now. From a couple of people that I've spoken with, they are going to gouge the trade market for a lot of these players, but they don't feel the need to move on from a guy like Michael Porter Jr. Porter Jr. as of right now is viewed as a cornerstone piece in Brooklyn. With the way that he is playing, he has solidified himself as a star in this league. This season alone, I believe he's averaging right now 25.5, 26 points per game, which is a career high. He's tied for a career high in rebounds, and he's also has a career high in assists per game. So this is a guy who they don't feel mandatory to move on from, and rightfully so. You don't own your pick next season. So at this point in time, I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is going to get traded unless if a offer is presented that they cannot deny, right? Say a team like the Clippers or the Warriors decide to give up 2 or 3 first-round picks for him. Maybe then they look into it, but I don't see them doing this for a first-round pick and, a salary filler. This is not the type of guy that you're going to move on from for a cheap deal. For a guy who has statistically been better than Mikal Bridges when he was in Brooklyn, who got us 5 first-round picks, the Nets aren't going to move on for him for a first and a protected first and a salary filler. So I don't see him being traded this season. Maybe they look to gouge the trade market and rumors start to fly towards the trade deadline, but I don't ultimately think that he is going to get traded. Nick Claxton, on the other hand, I do think is going to be dealt. The Nets do have something pretty special in Danny Wolf, depending on how his development goes. And for a guy at his height who has looked better physically on the court defensively, who has been an incredible playmaker, has showcased the ability to score at will from anywhere he wants on the floor, I do think Claxton is going to garner a lot of interest leading up towards the trade deadline. So I'm eyeing teams like Chicago, Charlotte, Golden State, and a few other teams as well.
I wanted to ask you about those two players in particular, Claxton and Porter. Last year, I would have traded Claxton for anything. Just take a salary. I don't care. Anything. I don't feel that way anymore. Have Claxton and Porter, who's playing like an all-star. I don't know if I'm like the all-star game. At this point, I
wouldn't
say
I wouldn't even say like an all-star. He's playing like an all-star. He is an all-star. The disrespect is absolutely fucking ridiculous on this dude right now. This is a guy who is genuinely
have they changed the narrative? Can we expect to get a lot more? Is the league viewing them differently than they viewed them 2 months ago as far as trade value?
Oh, I think 100%. I think their trade values are rising. Nick Claxton is a guy that people were saying they'd take second-round picks for. At this point in time, I wouldn't take anything less than 2 first-round picks in a salary filler. So if you want a starting big man in this league who has showcased the ability to give you 15, 9, and 5, pay the price. I don't feel there's any necessary need to move off of players right now unless if values are met. Boston, for example, if you want to help an in-division rival, a team who has screwed you time and time again over the past decade and a half, then pay the price. I want your pick this year and I want a future pick unprotected or a swap. So to me, no deal is being made unless if certain price points are met. I do know that the Nets are looking to take back contracts just to fill the salary floor need. But outside of that, I don't think the Nets are going to sit here and just give away players for cheap.
Yeah, I was 2 months ago, I was all for giving Nick Claxton away for a salary filler and some twos. Like I was fine with it. I just get him off my team. He's played really well. I'm not sure he's back to where he was 2 years ago. Offensively, he still struggles scoring the ball, but they're running their offense. Like he's leading the team in assists, or he was for a while. The rebounding has improved. He's not getting big boyed and bullied every day. Like he looks like a vastly improved player. And Michael Porter Jr., like you said, he's an all-star. Like he's got all-star numbers. He impacts the game as an all-star. He's leading the worst roster in basketball by a mile to possibly a playing spot. Like that's how good Michael Porter Jr. is. I would not. I don't want to. We're going to get to Michael Porter Jr. in a minute, but I one in a swap, a first round and a swap for Claxton, or one in a highly protected second first round pick. I think that's reasonable if you're taking back a bad salary.
I 100% agree.
Competing for Claxton are probably going to be the better teams, and their pick's not that sexy. So 2 1s or one in a highly protected, a second one that's highly protected, I think is fair. He's played that well.
I agree.
I do want to spend some time on Porter here. I would trade Porter if I got a Mikal Bridges type haul. That being said, I don't really want to trade him. I said this on Breezy Show, and everyone thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I want to look to extend him.
I agree. At this point in time, I would give him a 3-year extension. I think if you can lock him in for the next 5 years until he's 32, 33 years old, that's a really good player and piece to have moving forward. The goal is ultimately for next season to be a play-in team, right? You have a swapped pick with the Rockets, which they own the more valuable pick. To me, next season is when you're going to start looking to improve the roster, add some veteran pieces that are going to help your bench unit, and kind of solidify your starting 5 moving forward. There's still going to be some decisions that are needed to be made on whether or not Nolan Traore or Ben Saraf is kind of like the backup point guard of the future for them. Same thing goes with guys like Nick Claxton, Danny Wolf, and Day'Ron Sharpe on who's going to be the starting big moving forward. So to me, you've got to start making moves this season that are going to ultimately help you stay towards where you want to be on draft lottery night, but also help you for next season in which you're going to try and start looking to compete.
We talked about this, and I talked about this on Breezy's show too. The Nets benching, extending Michael Porter Jr. and then benching him with an injury. Sort of year. So you preserve keeping him long term and tanking this season and getting to play the rookies those minutes. With the changes that the NBA discussed in the
Mhm.
lottery, does that then rule that out? The idea of doing like what Utah did and benching Porter Jr. Does
Yeah,
that
yeah,
change
I think
this?
it definitely rules it out now. This
Yeah.
is something that I had said that I was looking into just based on how Utah has handled their tank over the past 3 seasons. So to me, yeah, that's kind of out of the realm now as to if the Nets are going to be able to do that or not.
I wanted to just bring up. I had a bunch of ear surgeries as a kid. I got a bunch of scarring in my ears. So whenever I didn't want to be in school, I would just go to the nurse and tell them my ear hurts. They'd look at my ear with a thing about, "Oh my god, what's wrong with your ear? You got to go home." Right? I do it all the
Yeah.
time. Michael Porter Jr. is a guy. He's been in the league 7 years now. He's got some injuries. Can they just like kind of make up an injury? Like, you play. What I'm saying is he's a guy that's had injuries in the past. He's played a while in the league. There's something wrong with him they can find to put him out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a 20-year-old kid who's fresh with no injury history. Michael Porter Jr. is a guy that's been around a little bit. He's got a history of injury. Could they
Yeah.
find an injury on him? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like they could, but are they going to is a different question. So, as of right now, I don't think that they're going to sit him necessarily. I also don't think that he's going to fully be able to keep up with what he's doing for a full 82 game season. You know, again, I view him as a second option long term, a guy that can give you 21 to
Yeah.
24 points per game. But do I see him putting up 30 bomb after 30 bomb night in and night out for 82 games this season? Probably not. And again, that's not a knock on his game. It's just when you're taking that level of volume shots, teams are going to start game planning around that to try and contest those more often. So it will be a bit more difficult down the stretch of the season for him to score. But again, he's still going to give you your 23 to 25 a game as of right now.
When I ask questions like, is he better than Pete Klay Thompson offensively? Is that an inappropriate question?
Not at all.
Not at all, right? Like, I think the Clay's probably a better all-around player because Clay at his best 2017, 2018 was a true lockdown defender. Michael Porter Jr. isn't. So I would probably take Pete Clay, but Michael Porter Jr. does a lot more offensively than Klay Thompson did, right?
No.
Like, that's
100%.
how good this guy is. That Klay Thompson's a Hall of Famer. Now, I know that's also a product of a situation playing on one of the great teams of all time, but what I'm saying is Klay Thompson is a Hall of Famer, and in his peak, Michael Porter Jr. is probably a better offensive player than Klay Thompson.
Yeah, probably.
That's a big statement. That's why I don't look. Anyone is tradable. Our team's not good, so anyone is tradable given the right package, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, anything short of a Mikal Bridges type haul, I have no interest in trading Michael Porter Jr. None. I would love him to be here the rest of his career, honestly.
I agree.
They thought that was the craziest take ever. Like that's nasty work right there. And like, is it? Like, I understand the team's not good, but Michael, what was what's the guy from Boston? The podcast Simmons, who said that the Nets made the worst trade of the decade by trading for Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, the
Remember
guy's
that?
an idiot.
Can he come on and defend that take, please? Like, really? Because it might be the best trade of a decade. We got rid of Cam Johnson. We got Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected first when Denver's going to be trash. It might be the steal of the century, honestly.
I 100% agree. I think that is by far one of the best trades that the Nets have made in terms of a player's value being risen. This guy's a genuine all-star.
We liked it when they made it. We were both excited when they made it. When they made the trade, I remember going live that day. We were both, yeah, we're into this trade.
Yeah.
How's Cam Johnson? Like, Denver thought they could get similar production out of Cam Johnson that they got from Michael Porter Jr. How's that working out?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
And God, I'm not trying to beat up on Eric Slater. I listened to Eric Slater's show. He was saying that Cam Johnson's a better basketball player than Michael Porter Jr. I'm like, what planet do you guys live on? I watched Cam Johnson every day for 2.5 years. What does he do better than Michael Porter Jr.? Like, the answer is clearly nothing. Like, nothing at all. I never got the love affair with Cam Johnson ever. I used to come out of Cam Johnson hater. It's like, he's not that good. He's not very good. And Denver learned that the hard way. All right. I do want to get in. I do want to get into where we stand right now. 8-8, I think, over the last 16 games. We're 5-5 over the last 10 games. We have the best defense in the NBA in the month of December. We have the least amount of points per game in the month of December. So where we went from in November, when we were the worst defense ever in the whole history of the NBA, letting up 130 points a game on average, that 7-game losing streak that we started the season on, to now the best defense in the NBA in the month of December. What the hell's going on here, Dylan? How does it change that radically in a month?
Coaching schemes, players starting to gain chemistry with one another. We've seen this time and time again now with Jordy, where he is able to turn shit into gold, quite literally. So it's impressive to see the improvements from the Nets. This portion of the schedule has also been a tad bit easier. I mean, we're starting to compete better with competing teams such as Toronto, Miami, things like that. But overall, the improvements have shown, and it seems to be continuity, just playing with one another, being able to run the same rotations, things of that nature.
Is this something like the NBA? How do I put this kindly? The NBA's intensity isn't the same in December as it is in the playoffs. Fair enough. Is this something that's sustainable? I mean, is this kind of defense that they're playing? Is this going to work throughout the season? Like, are they going to be able to continue holding teams to 105 points a game or whatever it's been this month throughout the season? Or is this like
no? I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to maintain being a top 5 defense in basketball by any means. But they have the ability to be a mid-tier defensive team, I would say. So it really just kind of depends on how healthy the Nets stay, if they decide to move on from Cam Thomas or implement him back into the lineup. I mean, if Cam Thomas comes back, then I don't see this team being that good. He is just not a good basketball player. So it really just kind of comes down to when Thomas is ready to come back, if the Nets decide to trade him immediately, or if they decide to implement him back into the rotation to kind of help out with losing.
You talked about two things there, right? You said the Nets can be, I want to get to Cam Thomas in a second. The Nets can be kind of a middling team. Right now, they're only, what are they? 4 games back in the loss column of Chicago. I don't think realistically they can get there, but like crazier things have happened, like an injury to Chicago, like something could happen. Chicago's not good. I remember Chicago started off 5-0. So do the math on that. Since then, what are they? 8-15? The Nets are probably better than them in that. Yeah. If they get close, like they did last year, are they going to go for it? They not what you think. I'm just saying what the Nets are going to do. Are they going to go for it? Would they become buyers if they got close?
No, I don't think they feel the need to become buyers this season.
I hope you're right. I would. Yeah. I'm saying that they are. So they started 8-7, 0-7. So they're 8-12 since.
Yeah.
And they really haven't lost to any bad. They lost to Utah, I guess, but they really haven't lost to any bad teams. Right? You know what I'm saying? When they played the bad teams, they've beaten them. They've lost to the good teams. And they've beaten the teams like Milwaukee without Giannis is bad. Then that's
really bad.
Yeah. But I'm saying like they're better than the really bad teams. The teams that are actively tanking, the Nets are better than.
Yeah.
They win the games that they're supposed. The 50-50 games are like, okay, the Nets are playing another bad team. They aren't 50-50 anymore. The Nets are just winning them. Like what do you do about it? I mean, I guess that's just the way it's going to be.
I don't really think there's necessarily something that the Nets can do. I think that they're just going to kind of play it out as it is, especially with the league now starting to monitor certain things. So I don't see them doing anything to switch this up.
Are you okay with that? I know you're a big tank guy. You said early in the season, if it's the rookies, the youngsters winning games, you're okay with it. Are you okay?
I stand by it. Like I said, if the rookies are going to win you games, you can't be upset about it. Am I ultimately upset about where we are in terms of draft lottery odds? Yes, and that's not going to change whether rookies are winning that or not. But can I be blatantly upset about a victory over a solid team because of Yegor Zhomon hitting 3 threes in the fourth quarter, or Nolan Traore putting up 4 or 5 points in the fourth quarter, or Michael Porter Jr. lighting it up for 10 to 12 points in the fourth quarter? No, I can't be upset about that.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about, you mentioned Cam Thomas. Ben Sarav had the 40-point game in Long Island last night. They called him back up. if you put Cam Thomas back in the rotation and you gave him 30 to 35 minutes a game, that's 30 to 35 minutes per game. Even if you started him off at 24 to bring him back slowly, that's still 24 minutes you're taking from other guys. We need to get Saraf in there. Do you understand what I'm getting at here? It's like there's no room to put Cam Thomas on this team. And I'm a Cam Thomas fan. I've defended Cam Thomas most of the offseason. There's no place for him on this team anymore. And it's just going to make things a mess by taking minutes away from other guys at this point, right? Because we need to get Saraf minutes. If we put Cam Thomas back in 25 to 30 minutes a game to start him slow, those minutes have to come from somewhere, and they're going to come from guys like Saraf. Can we just acknowledge that that Cam Thomas should not play another single minute on this team?
100% agree.
And the problem is he gonna I feel like they keep pushing this, like they're kicking the can down the road. Like I feel like Cam Thomas probably could play at this point. Are they just kicking the can down the road? Are they being extra precautious with this injury, or do you think like he's not ready to come back yet?
I think they are being precautious with it because I also think they're trying to trade him. I mean, it's kind of been openly reported that they're trying to move on from him. So it really just kind of depends on if they feel an offer is coming to fruition. I know that, Jonathan Kuminga is kind of holding up the trade market because he's not eligible to be traded until January 15th. I also know, like I said, the Nets aren't really looking to move on from Michael Porter Jr. right now. So because of that, you're probably going to have to wait for a team like the Warriors to be eligible to move on from Kuminga if the Warriors really want to move after Nick Claxton. Because I don't think the Nets are going to want Jonathan Kuminga. So at that point,
I kept hearing these rumors. I got about 3 notifications, like 3 hypothetical trades for Kuminga, Claxton for Kuminga. Do you think there's any smoke? Is there any smoke to that, or is that? I mean, is there any truth to that, or is that just?
Oh, I mean, I 100% think that the Warriors have interest in Nick Claxton. Draymond Green is a piece of shit. The guy is continuously screwing them out of wins. No, I don't think that. I don't think that the Nets have any form of interest in Jonathan Kuminga. No.
I did in the offseason, but with the way the rookies are, where would we use him? What role would he have here? I'm kind of out on Kuminga now too. If you would have asked me this 2 months ago, I would have jumped all over that trade because I do like Kuminga. I know he really hasn't reached his potential. He hasn't panned out like people, but I still think he's a hyper athlete with a lot of upside.
Yeah.
I think Claxton's a good trade piece now. I don't want Kuminga. I want draft pick. I want draft capital now for Claxton if we are going to move on from him.
Yeah.
This is a good point. Another guy we need to play, Nolan Traore. He's looked better. He got a lot of minutes in the last game. He got substantial minutes for the first time in a while. He's playing well, and it's another guard. And it's another guy that Cam Thomas would take minutes away from. Like, I do agree. Your thoughts on the development we've seen in Traore?
I think that he's looked really solid. I mean, he's blatantly getting to his spots inside the paint at will. So I definitely think that he needs to be the full-time backup point guard as of right now. Same thing with Ben Saraf. I think that they need to implement him as a full-time backup shooting guard. Drake Powell needs to be the full-time backup small forward. That kind of puts you in the position as to what are you going to do with guys like Zaire Williams, guys like Haywood Highsmith when he's healthy enough to come back. These are all guys that could be looked to be moved on from. So it really just kind of comes down to how the rookies' minutes are looking, how they're playing in those minutes, and then ultimately what the Nets' value are for some of those veteran guys that they're looking to probably move off of.
I know you wanted to spend some time on trades. We talked about Thomas. Is there any other trades you want to talk about? Any other hypothetical trades you want to touch on? Any other?
I mean, the big ones are really just coming from Nick Claxton. There's going to be a ton of suitors for him. It kind of just comes down to value, where the Nets value him and where other teams around the league are likely going to value him. And personally, I don't see a reason as to why he's not going to net you back an unprotected first and either a first-round pick swap or another slightly protected first. Teams like teams like Boston, Indiana, Chicago, Charlotte. There's a bunch of teams out there that are going to need a big man like him. Golden State. So it'll be interesting to see how those are maneuvered around. I mean, I know that I posted a bunch of them in my recent article updating, everybody on trade rumors and trade possibilities and teams who could be showing interest. So it kind of stays the same. I think that a first round pick and a secondary first round pick, whether it be slightly protected or a swap, is exactly what I would value Nick Claxton at currently.
I want to address this real quickly because this is interesting. In July, I tweeted Jordan should use Cam and MPJ like Kyle Korver. You want to use Cam Thomas like Kyle Korver?
I don't want to use Cam Thomas at all.
This is an interesting comment. I understand what he's saying, but like Cam Thomas is a shot creator. Kyle Korver, like I get the Michael Porter Jr. comparison. I don't get wanting to use Cam Thomas like Kyle Korver. Am I reading this wrong? Is that what it says? That's what, right?
Yeah, I don't understand it either very much.
All right. Shout out range. MPJ is a mix of Durant and Kyle Korver. You could use Cam Thomas the same way. Quick hit plays.
We got to move on from this guy.
Are we talking about the same Cam Thomas that's built like a fire hydrant, that's slow and unathletic on the Brooklyn Nets? That's the guy we're talking about, right? Okay. All right. I'm not trying to hate on the guy. How many times have I defended Cam Thomas? I think what Cam Thomas does is valuable for
too many times.
Too many times, right? Like I'm embarrassed that I've said it so many times now, but like I'm not getting this at all.
Get the guy off my team.
Okay, is there a trade for him? Does anybody want him? Are we going to be
It's like the "Who wants
him?
me, bro" memes. Like, no, I don't think anybody truly wants him or would give up anything of value for him. But that's got to figure out a way to do it. I don't really care if you get minimal back in return. Just get him off the team.
But remember, he's a $30 million per year player. That's why he wouldn't take the $14 million contract. Bet you he wish he could have that offer back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his agent screwed him. That was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what his agent, like, when we talked about it, I was like, nah, that's a horrible contract, right? But it sat there for a while. Just take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not getting anything better. It's $28 million over 2 years. Just take it.
No, the Cam Thomas hate is necessary. The guy's not good at basketball. You guys have got to move on from this dude. He is not good at basketball. Very simple.
He can hit some shots and he can have some great games, but scoring the ball.
He's a negative asset. He is a negative valued basketball player. He is a non-winner. Move on.
And he especially doesn't fit in here. You can see how much better the Nets are on both ends of the court without him.
Yeah.
Like, they're better without him.
I mean, it goes to show we're the number one defense in December. So
because he hasn't played, right.
The Nets were 0-7 with him on the floor. They are now 8-8 in their last 16 games.
Well, yeah.
It almost seems like there's a guy on the team who doesn't impact the game of winning.
I think we figured out who it was. All right, I want to look at the upcoming schedule. Let's take a look at that. How much more winning are the Nets going to do? I think it's fair to say, this is wrong. Hang on. Let me get the Nets schedule up, not the NBA schedule. That would help. That easy part of their schedule, the easier part of their schedule is over. They got some tough games coming up. This was Toronto, Miami, Milwaukee, Dallas, New Orleans, Utah, Chicago, Charlotte. That was the soft part. Milwaukee again. That was the soft part of the schedule. That's done with now. Now we're at Philly, at Minnesota, at Golden State, Houston, at Washington, winnable game, Denver, Orlando. So like the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. This is probably 1 and 6, right? Like maybe you get one here. I'm realistically, this is.
I mean, with the fucking rate they're playing, they may go 6-0 in that span. That's ridiculous.
Right.
No, I mean, just looking at that, as of right now, it looks like Embiid's playing. I think we lose tonight. Minnesota, I do think we lose against. Golden State, I do think we beat. Houston, I think we lose. Washington, I mean, shit. If they lose their next 4 games, they're going to be so due for a win. So it's 50-50 on that one. I do think that we could potentially beat Denver because Michael Porter Jr. is either going to put up 35 or they're going to lock him down for 15. There's no in betweens there. And then Orlando, again, another team who is just so mediocre and ass, 50-50. So at the rate of that the Nets are playing currently, this could be 3-3. It could be 1-5. It just depends on what Brooklyn Nets show up that night.
And I'm just glad that this is like, if you go back to December 6th, the New Orleans win. 6 days off, they played Dallas. 2 days off, they played Milwaukee.
They're on a
4 days
5-game
off,
win
they played
streak.
Miami. What is with this schedule? Like, who did this? Like 6 days off, 4 days off.
Somebody who has
off,
a lot of stupidity in their brain. I don't mean to keep steering back to this, but I'm sorry. The glaze, it needs to stop, fellas. We have blamed 5 different point guards and 3 different head coaches for Cam Thomas. Get over it. The dude fucking sucks. He's not good at basketball. Stop. It's like a kid growing up. It's like a kid growing up who's a delinquent and is constantly getting in trouble, and you continuously defend him and blame everybody else around him. Oh, it's the teacher's fault. Oh, it's the friends that he's hanging out with. Oh, it's social media. No, maybe the kid is just a dickhead. Same thing with Cam Thomas. The guy may just not be good at winning basketball games. You've blamed Ben Seraph. He had Dennis Schroeder last year. He's had Kyrie Irving, which he couldn't find minutes to play because he wasn't good enough to play on a contending team. I mean, time and time again, you've blamed coaches. You've blamed Kevin Ollie. You've blamed Jacques Vaughn. You've blamed Steve Nash. You're now blaming Jordi Fernandez for not making him the guy, even though he did for the last year and a half, but he can't stay healthy and he can't do it consistently. He doesn't equal winning basketball. How many times can we defend a mediocre basketball player? All because he has a funny meme. That's it. That's the only reason why this guy's even known around the league, because he can score 30 once every 8 games inefficiently. And because he said ain't shit funny. What exactly has he done in this league? Absolutely nothing. He has a horrible, horrible win-loss ratio. And I don't want to hear any complaints on the teams that he's played for, because Michael Porter Jr., as of right now, is like 8-15 when he plays, versus Cam Thomas, who, let's pull up the stat. Why not? I love showing this stat. Cam Thomas record as a starter.
It ain't gonna be
this
pretty.
season alone. He's 1-7, and the only reason why he has the 1 win is because he got hurt 6 minutes into the game. Throughout his career, let's see. Throughout his career as a starter, he is 30-58.
And the Nets are substantially better when he's not. Like, the Nets are better than that when he's not playing. The Nets, it's
his
so
winning
obvious.
percentage. His winning percentage is 34.1%. Michael Porter Jr. so far this season. Let's see. Record as a starter this season. Michael Porter Jr.'s record as a starter this season, based on win percentage, is 34.8. So still an improvement. He's 8-15 as a starter this year. And it's the same exact team that Cam Thomas is on. The difference is, though, is 7 of those losses came when Cam Thomas was next to him. So if you look at his winning record over the past, let's just say
without Cam,
record as a starter over the past.
Take away the first 7 games, the 0-7 start. Yeah.
Throughout the last 15 games, his win record is 7-8, which is 46.7% when Cam Thomas is off the floor.
You can't defend it anymore, guys. Like,
there's no defense.
It's indefensible. There's no. It's done. Like,
it's not hate. It's just fact. The guy is not a winning basketball player. Just like how James Harden and Lamar Jackson and Aaron Judge, and it hurts me to say that because I'm a Yankees fan, but all of these guys are MVPs in the regular season, and then they come into the playoffs and they shit themselves. Granted, Judge had a really good playoff run this year, and his team just sucked. But overall, Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP, and he can't get to a Super Bowl. You have James Harden, who has been, a 2 or 3-time MVP, but the guy can't make it past the Western Conference Finals. Same thing for Cam Thomas. Really cool at times, can't do shit in the win column.
You can't, yeah. It's what it is. There's no more. We were just
There's just
talking
no
about this,
defense
Steve.
to it.
Yeah. I don't think it's. Do you think of Michael Porter traded? If you had to bet, even money odds, Michael Porter Jr. gets traded
No,
before the start of next season. Do you think he's here or no?
I think he's here.
I do too. I know. I'm with you. I'm sure they are shopping him. I'm sure there have been phone calls.
Like
made.
I said, they're gonna gouge the trade market for him, and they're gonna see if there's anything of value. But if they don't get the value they feel he is, which at this moment in time, statistically, he is an all-star. An all-star at a minimum is 3 first-round picks. At a minimum.
There's no longer a conversation. Is Michael Porter Jr. overpaid? Remember, we got him as a salary dump. He's not overpaid at all.
Not one bit.
At all. Like if anything, he's paid correctly, or if you look at or underpaid, right? If you look at the guys making, I can pull it up right here. I think he's what is he? He's 37th in salary. Right below him is Brandon Ingram. Who's better, him or Ingram?
I'd say they're
Probably
about the
Michael
same.
Porter Jr. Yeah. Okay. Maxey is next. They make about the same.
I would say Maxey's the slightest bit better, but I mean, I wouldn't even say the slightest.
Close,
He's better, but
he's in the conversation.
It's debatable. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a 6'2" point guard versus a 6'10" forward. You know, Maxey's quickness is what gives him the ability to put up that 30 plus. Michael Porter Jr., of course, doesn't have that athleticism anymore because of his back history. So, you know, Maxey's by far the better player. I think Maxey right now is a top 20 player. I would probably put Michael Porter Jr. in the top 30.
LaMelo Ball makes about the same amount.
I think Michael Porter
really
Jr.
good.
is better just based on the health over the past 2 seasons.
Right.
But LaMelo, in terms of skill set, is better.
Porter makes 38. De'Aaron Fox makes 37. Who's better, Michael Porter Jr. De'Aaron Fox?
I think they're about the same.
I would take Michael Porter. Desmond Bain makes 36 million. A little bit less, but
I think Michael Porter Jr. is better.
Scotty Barnes makes 38. Who's better?
I think that they both do things very differently from one another.
Differently?
Barnes is not as good of a gifted scorer, but he is a physical rebounder similar to MPJ, and he's also a better playmaker than MPJ. He's also a slightly better defender than MPJ. So realistically, I would give the small edge to Scotty, but again, very close.
Darius Garland makes 39. Who's better?
Michael Porter Jr. is a lot better.
OG makes 39. Who's better?
Michael Porter Jr. is a lot better.
So like the guys around him, he's as good as or better. That's what he's not overpaid. He's paid probably about what he's owed, right? Like he's not overpaid. I hope he's here long term.
I agree.
Mikal Bridges makes close to what Michael. I have to do it at least once a show. Mikal Bridges makes about what Michael Porter Jr. makes. We watched Mikal Bridges here for a year and a half. Who's better, Michael Porter Jr. or Mikal Bridges?
Your answer.
Right. So the contract on Porter Jr. is fine, and we got him as a salary dump, and he's played into that contract quite well. I don't know what is cap.
That means that I'm lying.
No, I know. I understand what cap means. I'm going to say, what are you lying about? What? Yeah, I'm old. I'm not that.
I thought I had to hit you with a new gen history lesson for a second.
No. I know what cap means. But what is cap? What is he saying? That's Michael Porter Jr. is not better than.
Oh yeah, we got the Knicks dick rider in here. It's fine.
Knicks fan.
No.
All right.
Whatever.
Call up the Knicks right now. See if they'll make that trade. Salaries.
I don't think they would because it's the Knicks, but
yeah. Well. Okay. And OG makes Porter's. I like OG as a player. This is why I can't be a Knicks fan. It's how much they overestimate their play. I think OG is a very good player. I would like to have OG if I had an organization. I would like to have OG on my team, but like he's not better
for 40 million
Jr.
now. No, for 40 million, I would not take OG Anunoby. If he was at 20 million, sure, but not 40 million. That is a horrible contract. By the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to my girlfriend for the awesome gift that she got me. It's a nice little custom Nets water bottle.
There you go.
Really cool.
Shout out. Yeah.
I think Mikel's a better basketball player than OG is. OG's a better defender right now. Mikel's the better offensive player, and Mikel also stays healthy compared to OG, who plays 40 games a season. So to me, when you have Mikal Bridges at 35 million versus OG at 40, Yeah, give me Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges is hitting his threes right now. He ain't going to do that all season. That 3-point percentage is going to come down. It is. Like,
Potentially.
you regress to the means.
What's it called? CJ Holmes just reported Terrence Mann is sick, now listed as probable. So chance that he could be downgraded to questionable if Ben Saraf is able to play today. That would be my guess. Because Saraf is also probable with a right ankle sprain. So depending on if Saraf is a go, I think they'll sit Mann. If Saraf is out, then I think Mann will play. But I think one or the other will be out.
And I want to see Saraf. I want to. You tweeted it. It's time to play the rookies 20 minutes per game.
Yeah,
all 5 of them. I'm with you. I think we're overdue for that. Yeah, is that going to happen? Are we going to get 20 minutes?
I truly think there needs to be a full backup lineup of Traore, Saraf, Powell, Danny Wolf, and Sharp. I think that should be the 5 men off the bench. And then I think you should have Yegor, for now, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney, and Claxton as your starters. I do not think Cam Thomas should touch that rotation.
Like, subscribe, and share. OG's. It says the president of the OG fan club. I like OG too. I think this is. I think we've hit silly time now that OG is better than Michael Porter Jr. I think that's a silly comment, but yeah. As far as the rookies, the rookies have played well. Sharp has played well. Clowney. Is this what we're expecting from Clowney? I mean, has Clowney turned the corner now? Because every day he's scoring 20 on a shooting. He's grabbing a couple of rebounds. Yeah. He had a block shot. It's like he's playing really well. What do we make of this with Clowney?
I think that at this point in time, he's a guy that'll be consistently able to give you 14 to 17 per game. The efficiencies need work, but I also think that kind of comes down to how the roster is constructed around him. You need guys who are going to be highly efficient around him. Michael Porter Jr. is one of them. Right, Terrence Mann, not really. Yegor, not yet. Even though his last 2 out of 3 games, he's been shooting over 50%.
Yeah.
Nick Claxton, hit or miss, but it's also based on volume. He doesn't really take enough volume inside the paint to space Clowney out to his full potential at times. Clowney's shot selection is also not the greatest at times too, so that's something that he needs to work on. But overall, if he can get to the point where he's like a 34.5 to a 36.5 3-point shooter, and he's like 45 to 48% from the field, I think that you'll see him consistently be able to put up 14 to 18 a game on good efficiencies.
Yeah, could he be our power forward moving forward? Can we chalk him up as the 4 moving forward? I understand.
I think so.
If we get Cam Boozer or whatever, yes, I understand that that would change our calculus. But could he be our starting 4?
Oh, 100%. Like I said before the season began, I feel like in terms of his play style, outside of the level of defensive ability that Evan Mobley has, Noah Clowney reminds me a lot of Evan Mobley. Versatile 4, doesn't really have the necessary size to be like the greatest inside the paint big man, but is he versatile on the perimeter? Can he space the floor? Yes. So to me, the ceiling of him is a lesser version of Evan Mobley, where he's not going to be an all-star, but could he be like the rotational version of Evan Mobley? I think so.
They're starting to become a direction with the Nets, right? Like early in the season, it's like this. They got a bunch of guys. There's no direction on this team. What are they doing? Like, this is a disaster. They're never going to be good. They're still not good. Like, they're still a ways off from being good. But there's at least a direction. Yegor, I think, has played really well. Danny Wolf looks like a gem. Like, Noah Clowney could be your 4. Like, you have things in place. Drake Powell's obviously been really good. There's things in place now, right? And Michael Porter Jr. is an all-star. What up, Breezy? What up, Breezy? This isn't depressing anymore watching. Like, when we went to the game in Charlotte, I was like, this is going to be a disaster. Like, there's nothing positive here. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like they're definitely headed in a direction. Like, there's things I want to see now. Like, there's something to watch.
I 100% agree. This has been the most enjoyable season I've watched as a Nets fan in about 4 years. Right, the last year of KD and Kyrie was frustrating just based on the fact that you had KD request a trade in the offseason. You had Kyrie who didn't sign an extension. the only hope that you had during that time frame was when they went 18-2, but then all the shit happened and everything got blown up. So that was miserable. The first season of Mikel was miserable, just a play-in team that, or I would say the second half of that season after trading Katie was miserable, just based on you lost your 2 franchise guys. You're now fighting for a play-in spot. You didn't make any moves to necessarily upgrade the roster to solidify yourself a playoff win. And then to top it off, the following season, you didn't make moves for guys like DeJounte Murray or things of that nature to help improve the roster to be a play-in spot. You didn't own your own pick. That ended up being Reed Shepard. Everybody laughed about it. He's now looking like the next coming of Stephen Curry. So it's like, yeah, it's been miserable, but this season at least has been hopeful in the sense that you've seen flashes from guys like Yegor, Drake Powell, Danny Wolf, Traore, Saraf. Like all 5 of the rookies have shown some form of flashes, whether it's been in the NBA or in the G League. Michael Porter Jr. has taken the leap to an all-star. Nick Claxton has taken a leap in terms of his playmaking ability. So it's been an enjoyable season. I'm not sitting here saying that I've been upset with every win. I think the only win that I've truly been upset about is the most recent one, which is after the Kings, Clippers, and Pelicans won games 2 days prior to us, right? Those are the types of games where I want to see Michael Porter Jr. be sat, because it's like when you're fighting for that inch by inch, game and a half, 1 game behind these guys, you need to have those losses. So was that a win that I was upset about? Yes. But again, did you have rookies play really well? Did you have Michael Porter Jr. drop 28 plus? Yes. So it's like, I'm not upset about it.
What I would say is this bunch of games coming up, they're going to lose a lot of, right? Like, I can't, like, they really haven't beaten good teams. They've beaten bad teams. They just happen to play a bunch of bad teams in a row. They still haven't beaten good teams because they're not good, right? They're still really bad. They know how to, they figured out how to beat the other bad teams who are tanking. They don't have those, other than Washington, they don't have a bunch of those games coming up. So, like I said, of their next 7 games, 1-6, I think, is what we're looking at here. I said before they played this patch of easy games, they were going to win some of these games. Like they were going to get a bunch of wins, and they did. I'm looking at the next couple of weeks of their schedule. I don't see more than 1 win coming.
Hey, you've been on the money with the predictions so far this season. So at this point, I got to ride your hand. Pause, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We're going to start making bet slips on Gary's predictions at this point. I mean, he hits a shit ton on boxing, so we might as well with basketball, right?
Let's roll with it. I'm saying the next 7 games, 1-6. So what would that put us at? We're 8-18 right now. That's 8-19. What are we right now? 8-18, 8-19.
Yeah.
8-19. Who's good at math? So that would be 9. 8.
We would be 9-24.
25. 9-24.
If it's the next 6 games, then we're 1-5 throughout that.
No, 7. 1-6 over the next 7.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then 9-25.
9-25.
Realistically, by the midway point of January, the Nets should be the 4th or 3rd worst team in basketball. Realistically, which to me is honestly being the 3rd or 4th worst team is probably the best spot you can be in, because 1 and 2 have gotten screwed over the past few years, and being outside of 5 does not really give you the best overall chances, right? Of course, 10 and 11 went up to 1 over the past 2 seasons, but I would not bank on that myself. So to me, being the 3rd or 4th worst team is probably the best chances of staying within the top 4, whether you're staying at 3 or 4 or moving up.
Clowney for 15 plus tonight at plus 124.
I mean, if you guys want to hear my play for the day, it's a $5 bet. I think it's to win 455. Yegor, oh, come on, let's see it. Load. Yegor over 14.5 points plus assists. LaMelo 29.5 over points plus assists. Trae Young over 10.5 assists. Bam Adebayo over 30.5 PRA. Jokic over 13.5 rebounds, and Sengun over 9.5 rebounds. All of those plays that were mentioned are at least 4 of the last 5 games against those teams. Yegor being one of the last 2.
You went through that quickly, but I think I like all the. I mean, is it going to hit? Probably not. That's
Probably not.
No.
So
but yeah,
low risk, high reward.
I really object to. There's nothing in there that's like a crazy cowboy bet, like But no, I like it. Keontae George over 11.5
rebounds, assists.
Oh, rebound! I got you. Yeah. Okay.
I liked Keontae's over 24.5 points. He had 39 against Memphis this season. So, and he's also had under 24.5 the past 2 games. I think it's even money. I think it's minus 110.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would take. I like the Clowney bet better. Clowney's going to get 15 or more tonight. I like the Clowney bet better.
Yeah, he
I'll
had
give you that.
16 against Philly the last time they played.
Yeah, I would go in on that. All right, guys. Dylan, what's your schedule like? When are we coming back? We got to do another mock draft soon too. So when
Yes,
are you free?
I am leaving for Jersey. I'm doing my little 11-hour drive the day after Christmas. I am busy the first 2 days that I am there, so let's aim for a mock draft around December 29th. I think that'll be a good day.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, y'all. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you. We'll see you before the New Year, but we won't see you again until after Christmas. So, from Dylan and I, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon. From Texas to the world. Thank y'all. God bless.